The first time I saw her, she stood in a line of 6 other women, each of them alien, each of them expressionless. Their skin shimmered faintly under the sterile white light of the government hall. The Interplanetary Union Act had been in effect for almost a year now. Every eligible human male who volunteered for off-world service was offered an alien bride as part of cultural integration. Most men thought of it as a reward. I didn't. My name's Elias Trent, former Marine, survivor of the Arcadia conflict. I'd seen enough war to last 2 lifetimes. When the recruitment officer handed me the paper saying I'd been selected for companion allocation, I almost tore it up. But Earth's air was poisoned, and the colonies paid in clean oxygen credits. I needed them.
So I signed.
That's how I ended up on Vereen Station, standing under flickering lights, facing 6 women from another world. Then she stepped forward. Her name was Selara, though the translator embedded in my wrist chip shortened it to SE. She had pale violet skin that caught the light like silk, and silver markings tracing the sides of her face like veins of moonlight. Unlike the others, she didn't look at me. She looked through me. Chosen pair. Human Elias Trent. Vereen female Selara. The AI voice announced. She flinched when my name was spoken. Just slightly, but I noticed. I didn't know then that this pairing would change everything. Middle. They assigned us a shared unit, a compact habitation pod near the edge of the station. It had 1 small kitchen, 1 bunk, and an automated system that hummed like a heartbeat through the metal walls. She spoke little at first. When she did, her voice carried a strange resonance, like a melody hidden in words. "Do humans always volunteer for bonds?" she asked one night. "Not always," I said, scrubbing my hands after another bland meal pack. "Some of us don't have much of a choice." She tilted her head. "You mean you were ordered?" I hesitated. "You could say that." Her expression darkened. So was I. Something inside me cracked a little at that. We were both prisoners of our systems, she to hers, I to mine. Days passed. She tended the small hydroponic garden in silence, and I repaired old drones for the colony's defense system. She'd hum sometimes while working, a sound both alien and heartbreakingly human. I found myself listening for it every night before sleep. Then one evening, she broke the silence. "Elias," she whispered, standing at the foot of my bunk. Her eyes glowed faintly in the dark. "Don't sleep tonight." My half-dreaming mind struggled to process her words.
What?
"Why?" She stepped closer, voice trembling. "They come when the humans are asleep." I sat up. "Who comes?" She shook her head, gripping her arms tightly. "You won't believe me. None of the others did." "Essie," I said gently, "tell me." Her next words chilled me. "You were not given a bride. You were given a subject." The revelation. She explained everything in a rush of fear and broken words. The Vereen government and Human Command had forged the Union program not for peace, but for data. They were testing genetic compatibility between species, searching for hybrid potential that could resist both human disease and Vereen atmospheric toxins. Each pairing wasn't romantic. It was experimental. But there was more. "Some of us," Essie whispered, "were modified. We carry nanites in our blood that activate when humans are unconscious. They collect tissue samples, neural readings. Sometimes her voice broke. Sometimes they take too much." I stared at her in disbelief. "You're saying they're using you as what? Living lab instruments?" She nodded. "And when the data is complete, the human stops waking up." I remembered reports of soldiers who vanished from the colonies. Unfit pairings, they called them. I'd believed the propaganda. "Not anymore." "Why are you telling me this?" I asked. "Because I don't want you to die," she said, her voice shaking. And because I can feel the nanites waking. They'll move when you dream. That's when I saw it, the faint shimmer under her skin, like starlight moving through veins. Escape plan. We spent the next day pretending to live normally. Cameras watched our every move, eyes hidden in ceiling vents and light panels. But beneath that mask of routine, we plotted. SAE accessed the internal grid through her BIOSIM interface, rerouting maintenance drones. I retrieved my old pulse pistol from storage, still half-charged from the war. We agreed. When night came, we'd run. But evening brought something we didn't plan for. A knock on the pod door. Unit 7A. Routine health inspection. A male voice called. SAE's grip tightened on my sleeve. That's not an inspection officer. I nodded. The voice had the wrong cadence. Too calm. Too human military. I reached for my pistol, motioning her toward the back exit. The door slid open, and two men stepped inside in full atmospheric armor. Elias Trent, the taller one said, his visor glowing red. By order of the Integration Command, you're being reassigned. Step away from the subject. Reassigned, I echoed. That's your word for disposal now. His tone didn't waver. Do not resist. SAE whispered something in her language. The lights flickered, and every system in the room went dark. Then chaos. The escape. I fired first, a burst of blue light that cracked the air. One soldier fell back, armor sparking. The other lunged forward, but SAE's bioluminescent markings flared. A wave of electromagnetic energy rippled from her hands, slamming him into the wall. The power surge killed the cameras. We had seconds. Run, she shouted. We tore through the maintenance tunnels, narrow shafts smelling of ozone and metal dust. Behind us, alarms began to wail. The entire station was waking up. Docking bays this way, I said, glancing at my wrist display. If we can reach it. They'll shoot us down, she interrupted. Vereen ships can't breach the human perimeter. They'll think I've infected you. I stopped, panting. Then what's the plan? She hesitated. There's a way off station, but it means leaving everything behind. I already left everything behind, I said. That made her smile for the first time.
The choice.
The path she led me down didn't go to the docks. It went deeper, into an abandoned sector. The air was colder here, thick with dust and silence. In the center of the corridor stood a massive containment pod, half buried in debris. What is that? I asked. A sleeper vessel, she said softly. Old Vereen tech. It was meant to evacuate my people during the First War. I found it years ago and hid it. She pressed her palm against the side panel. It came alive with blue light. You had an escape route this whole time? I asked, stunned. I couldn't use it alone, she said. The vessel needs a human neural pattern to complete its activation. That's why I chose you. I frowned. Chose me? I thought we were randomly paired. Her eyes met mine. Nothing about this was random, Elias. When I saw your name, I remembered it. Remembered? We've never met. Yes, she whispered. We have. During the war, you saved a Vereen child from the firestorms of Arca 4. Memory hit me like lightning. A girl, crying under the wreckage, her silver markings flickering through the smoke. I thought she died. I breathed.
She didn't, she said.
She grew up remembering the human who gave her water and called her brave. The realization shattered the distance between us. I warned you not to sleep, she said, tears glinting in her eyes. Because I couldn't bear to lose you again. The final stand. Before I could answer, a tremor shook the corridor. The soldiers had found us. Go, she shouted. Get in the vessel. What about you? I'll hold them back long enough for it to launch. I grabbed her arm.
No.
Not again. She smiled, a sad, radiant smile that didn't belong to someone meant for war. You once saved me from fire. Let me save you from this. Then she turned, markings glowing like molten silver, and faced the approaching soldiers. I climbed into the vessel. The interface pulsed under my hand. Neural sync required, it said. I closed my eyes and thought of her. Outside, I heard the hum of plasma rifles, the clash of energy against energy, and her voice, singing that same melody she used to hum in the garden. Then silence. The pod shook violently, then lifted. Through the viewport, I saw the corridor collapsing in light and debris. The last thing I saw was Essie, standing amid the chaos, her arms outstretched, light pouring from her skin like a dying star. Then darkness. Ending. When I woke, the stars were different. The pod's AI informed me I had drifted for weeks through deep space. System stable. Oxygen recycling. No pursuers detected. But I wasn't alone. Her voice came through the comms, faint but alive. Elias. I stared at the console, heart pounding. SAE? You're. I transferred my neural code to the vessel before the detonation, she said. I couldn't leave you. Not this time. I couldn't speak. My throat tightened. Are you angry? She asked softly. No, I said, smiling through the tears. Not if it means you're here. Silence filled the cabin, broken only by the steady hum of the engines. What do we do now? I asked. Her voice, warm and steady, replied. We live. For once, without orders. And for the first time in years, I felt something close to peace. Out there, among the endless stars, a human and an alien soul shared one small vessel, carrying a promise born from war and reborn in light.